G'day viewers, today we're going to review the SwissTool in its minimal form and also its plus form. So here we have the minimal form, which is just the tool in either a leather or a nylon pouch. I've got it in the leather pouch here at the moment, but here we've got the nylon pouch, so you can see that there's a clear difference between the two. I'll just put that to the side for the moment. The leather pouch, it's quite a soft leather, viewers, which is not what I expected when I ordered it. And when it arrives in a box, in a Victorinox box. You unbox it, and basically that's it. You get the SwissTool and the leather pouch. Now, to the best, I'll just put that pouch aside for the moment. To the best of my knowledge, look, I've only found one place that actually sells the SwissTool in its plus form. This is the plus form, so this is a kit that I had to build separately. The SwissTool, obviously, I just showed you. That's the way I purchased it. So I purchased the SwissTool with just those two components. However, there is a site in Switzerland that will sell you the plus form, but the plus form everywhere else that I could find, I had to actually build. So that involved actually purchasing the leather pouch for it. You can also get a nylon version, but I prefer leather. The tool I already have. The extension bar I had to actually buy separately. I've put a bit in there at the moment, but I'll come to that a bit later on. So I had to get the extension bar separately. I actually bought that from the United States. I bought a number of them. I bought the ratchet kit separately. The way you actually get the ratchet set is as such, and I'll show you. So I'll take these bits out. That's what you get when you purchase the ratchet set. You get the black bits shown here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits, I think it is. The black ones come with the kit. The other ones I've actually added myself. As you saw before, I've actually added a number of other bits as well to it, simply because it has the capacity to carry them. So with the ratchet, I might just point out to viewers that it actually only turns one way. So if you want to go the other way, you got to just flip the ratchet over as such, and then it goes in the opposite direction. And you can tell which directions it goes in by the Victorinox stamp that's on the back of the ratchet. So that's part of the plus kit. The last part of the plus kit is the screwdriver. Is the corkscrew with what they call mini screwdriver. Now, I've actually measured the width of that mini screwdriver, and it comes in at 1.5 millimeters. So each one of these, so the corkscrew I had to purchase separately, the mini driver separately, the extension bar separately, this ratchet kit separately, and obviously the tool that I had originally purchased. The corkscrew works as such. It goes into this hole here, and you just push it there. Make sure it's nice and tight, and that's it. You've got a solid corkscrew there, and to pull it out, that's it. It's just very, very simple. That's also a lanyard hole. Victorinox classifies that as a lanyard hole. So you've got one on either side of the actual SwissTool. So here we have the SwissTool Plus. The Plus needed to be built, put together as I've discussed, what you end up with is a complete actual toolkit that you can use as your everyday carry. Let's just have a look and see how much that actually weighs now. So that complete toolkit is coming in at 513 grams. So it's fairly heavy. However, it is a complete toolkit. So I find it actually a great little piece of kit to take with me when I go travelling, because these days Airbnb's becoming more prevalent. So sometimes when you land on when you arrive at a property, either at the start of your stay or at some point during your stay, something might actually need to be fixed. It's not necessarily convenient to get the owner out there to fix something that potentially you can fix pretty simply. So that's why I carry this, and it is an excellent everyday carry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk us through the actual functions one by one. Now, in doing that, what I would like to do, or what I'm going to do, just to save my fingernails, is I've got here a Leatherman Micra, and I use that to actually, I'm going to use that now to actually open up the tools. It's not what I would do in an everyday carry situation, but now just to save my thumbnails, because when you go through when you open and close these things a lot for the purpose of making this video, or just to play around with it, your thumbnail does actually get consumed fairly quickly. So I'll start off with the actual main tool. So here we've got you've got a ruler, metric on one side, imperial on the other, Victorinox stamps on both sides. Just open up the tool as such. That's it. You've got the main function, which is a plier head. It's a needle nose plier head. Now, something I just want to point out, viewers, is you'll see on many videos, particularly ones from the United States, and particularly involving say the Leatherman products, they will classify that as two functions: a needle nose plier and regular pliers. That's actually incorrect. That whole plier head is a needle nose plier head. There is no such thing as needle nose and the regular pliers. It's just silly. But that misconception seems to be propagated through many videos online. But I just wanted to clarify that point. And you can, just on that point, you can see what I'm saying if you have a pair of blunt nose pliers. So you don't have blunt nose pliers and then regular pliers. The whole thing is just a blunt nose head. In this case, it's a needle nose plier head. So that's the main tool there. Here you've got your soft wire cutters in there, and then a bit lower you've got your hard wire cutters. Later on in the video you'll see some close-up images that I've taken of this, and some of the cutting tests that I've run on a range of wires, and you'll see that a bit later on. So let's just move through and have a look at all these individual functions. So here I'm just going to open up the straight edge blade. Very standard, nothing particularly strange about that or worth noting here. On the flip side, you've got your wood saw, which is absolutely fantastic. So I've done quite a bit of cutting with that. It's actually really good. You've got an effective working area across this range here, basically. So in terms of bushcraft, it's actually a pretty good tool. Once again, I've taken some close-up photography of the actual sawtooth configuration, and we'll cover that off in a bit more detail. But it's quite aggressive and chews through wood pretty quickly. So the next thing that we've got here is a large flathead pliers. They Victorinox states that as being 7.5 millimeters across. It's also a very good pry bar, so you can open up your paint tins and stuff like that. So it's quite a useful tool to have. The next item we're going to look at is the bottle opener. So you've got the bottle opener here. You've got the flathead screwdriver there. Victorinox states that as being a 5mm flathead, and you've also got this little cutout here, this little notch here, and that is actually what they're calling a wire bender. So I've never actually used it myself, and I can't imagine that I would use it, but that's what Victorinox is stating its function is. It's a wire bender. Right, so the next set, I'll just have to flip this around here. I'll open this up. Here we've got a can opener, pretty standard tool on MultiTools, and here we have a flathead screwdriver, 3mm. So you've got a range of sizes on here for flathead screwdrivers. As in this case, it's a 3mm on the actual can opener. Let's see. Now we also have here a chisel. So that's quite a useful bit of kit here, a chisel or a scraper, and here we have a wire cutter, and here we have what Victorinox is calling wire scraper. So the wire cutter is obvious, and it works extremely well. The wire scraper, I must confess, I've never actually used that before. I don't have much of an electrical need, but it's a very handy bit of kit to have. The chisel is actually very good for woodwork. So I certainly find that useful. Okay, so I think we've done that side. Let me see. Yeah, we've done that side. So I'll flip it over. And now what we have here is, firstly, we have a file. So this would be called, if this was a Leatherman and if it was American marketing, they classify this as two files. They would say it's a metal file here and it's a wood file here. And that's, once again, not true. That's just hype by US marketing companies and indeed people, organisations like Leatherman. The whole thing is a file, and Victorinox actually lists it as being a single item. They actually call it a metal file, so the whole thing. There is a difference between the roughness on the nail neck side as opposed to the other side. Once again, I've taken some excellent close-up photography and we'll go through that, and you can actually see the difference. The nail neck side is quite a bit more aggressive than the opposing side. Look, if I had to make an estimate, and you'll see it based on the photography that I've got coming up, look, I'd say that the nail neck side is probably somewhere between 30 to 40%, or 25% to 40% more aggressive than the opposing side. So that side is say between 20 and 40% more aggressive than the opposing side. Along the edge here we have what Victorinox is describing as a metal saw. In some markets in the US, they might describe it as being some kind of edge file, but again, with close-up photography that I've got, you'll actually see that it is a classic sawtooth profile. Some very interesting pics, and I'll cover that off shortly. Here we have the serrated edge blade. I find this serration actually to be superior to the to the Gerber and the Leatherman profiles. I find this file, although appearing less aggressive than the Gerber and the Leatherman profiles, it is no less effective, and it'll slice through a 1/4 inch rope quite easily. In fact, I think it's a better tool for cutting rope than the Leatherman or the Gerber because of the cutting profile that they have on those tools. So closing that up now. So here now we've got what the Americans call an all AWL. In the rest of the English-speaking world is classified as a reamer or a punch. So the punch being the actual point you can punch through something, and the profile along here by rotating it is the actual reaming that you're doing. But the Americans call that an all AWL, just to be different as they often are. Over here we have a 2mm screwdriver. So it's basically the same size as the screwdriver on the Leatherman Micra. Why Victorinox would put such a fine instrument on a relatively speaking heavy tool, relative to the fineness of that instrument, escapes me. Why they would actually do that, I have no idea. And then lastly, the tool that we have here is a Phillips screwdriver, a number 1/2 screwdriver. Works very well, well positioned, nice and almost central. So it's quite comfortable to use. And look, I found, viewers, that just generally speaking, the tool itself, I find it's always better to use it with gloves, simply because the metal that this tool is made from has a higher chrome content, and that's why it's always so shiny and relatively water resistant compared to Leatherman or Gerber. But along with that comes the possibility of slippage. So I find just wearing a pair of gloves, if I'm going to do anything serious with this, is definitely worth the effort. One thing I just want to point out to you viewers is that I've got quite a few Victorinox tools, as well as I've got Leathermans and Gerbers, and look, I would say almost every tool is delivered to me with one or more defects. It's actually extremely common. And one defect I just want to point out to you is the fact that I think it might be this pin here, has maybe a bit slightly different tolerance compared to the other pins, so it's got a bit of play to it, a little bit of slop, and the way you can see that is just in the tool here. So when you lay it down, you can see actually you can see that it has a little bit of a rock to it, a bit of a rocking motion. So that's because it's not exactly lined up. There is just a little bit of play, and you can see that. It doesn't affect the functionality of the tool in any way, shape or form, so you don't have to worry about it. But one thing that's actually really important, and the reason why it doesn't matter if the tool gets delivered to you defective, Victorinox, as people are probably well aware, they have a lifetime warranty on all of their components. So all of the components in this kit, the ratchet, the extension bar, the corkscrew, all have lifetime warranties, and it's really no reason to fear having any kind of defect in a Victorinox tool, because they will replace them, and I've actually tested that, and there's absolutely no issue whatsoever. So that's a big plus. So that's basically covering the tool itself. Next, we'll take a closer look at some of these components with some close-up photography, and I think you'll see some pretty interesting stuff there. So stay there, and I'll be back very shortly.